When Foxborough decides every roster spot must be earned again, you feel the result. An unknown starts climbing while celebrated players feel the ground shift beneath them. Patriots Nation, listen closely. Today, an overlooked tight end is turning dirty work into opportunity. The defensive line is adding another piece. A receiver is fighting an uncomfortable slide, and protecting Drake May has become more concerning. These are not disconnected stories. They are 4 snapshots of how this roster is being tested from within. If that read hits you too, drop a like and subscribe. Some careers can turn before the first game even arrives. Tanner Arkin is not earning attention the easy way. He is not the name carrying the glow of a draft pick, or the target dominating every highlight clip. He arrived as an undrafted free agent, and he is building his case where almost nobody looks for spectacle. Blocking, contact, and the work that keeps a formation operating. And I have to tell you, there is something deeply Patriots about that. Mass Live's Karen Garigian named Arkin a player fans needed to watch. So far, he has not wasted that opportunity. Third-round pick Eli Raridon naturally gets more attention and remains an important piece of the position's future. But one player's rise doesn't erase the other's usefulness. Their skill sets can complement each other. Raridon brings size and athletic ability as a target. Arkin is trying to prove he can survive as a blocking tight end or H-back, a less glamorous role that becomes valuable when the offense can change formations without announcing the play. That gets me excited as a fan. A strong roster is not built with talented starters alone. It gets harder to break when a back-of-the-room player executes one job so well that the coach must make room. Arkin can make the initial 53 because he does not need to beat Hunter Henry or push Raridon out of the picture. His fight is about proving the offense becomes more flexible when he is on the field. Imagine being a rookie who never heard his name called in the draft. Every block could decide whether he stays in Foxborough or disappears on cutdown day. Nothing is built in, only a chance to force the staff to see value where the public saw disposable depth. I defend that competition because it restores honesty to the roster. If Arkin can hold his ground at the point of attack, stay disciplined in his assignments, and offer enough as a receiver to keep the formation unpredictable, the Patriots may have found a cheap, functional answer in-house. The consequence goes further. When an unknown threatens the 53 on merit, everyone learns that reputation cannot execute a block, and status cannot keep a drive alive. Arkin still has to survive the rest of camp and the preseason, but he is no longer another body at the position. He now represents the kind of hope that catches a fan base off guard, watching someone with no prepared path create his own space. While Arkin fights to stay, New England has brought in another man for a much heavier competition. But Patriots Nation, this is where things get really interesting. Casey Rogers arriving is not some random idea. According to Jordan Schultz, the Patriots are signing the 27-year-old defensive tackle and dropping him into this training camp fight. The move has intent behind it. New England already has interior depth, but it still chose to add size, experience, and discomfort for anyone who thought the order was settled. Rogers stands 6'5" and weighs 305 pounds. He played at Nebraska and Oregon. In 2 Duck seasons, he played 27 games and recorded 56 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. He entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Giants in 2024. He played 2 games as a rookie and another in 2025, totaling 3 regular season appearances. He also spent time in Buffalo. That resume forces nobody to surrender a roster spot. That is why the move fits this moment. Rogers comes in to push the rotation, bring size against the run, and show whether his NFL experience is worth more than another competitor's raw potential. Christian Barmore and Milton Williams bring weight atop the room. Behind them, every snap needs a purpose, because carrying depth for the sake of depth will not protect a defense through a full season. I like the message, but demand the step. Turn competition into quality. If Rogers absorbs the system, withstands double teams, and energizes the rotation, he could become the surprise nobody projected when camp opened. If not, he still raises the test for everybody else. Either way, the Patriots refuse to let that room get comfortable. A franchise gets its toughness back by never loving the roster's first version. This signing promises Rogers no starring role. It creates friction. And well-managed friction reveals who can play when space gets tight. Another kind of squeeze is developing on offense, though. For a receiver who has carried expectations since draft night, the margin is shrinking right in front of us. Kyle Williams working as the so-called WR7 is uncomfortable. Not because one July walkthrough determines his future, but he entered year 2 needing progress and was not among the 6 receivers with the top unit when group split last week. Williams worked with the backup offense. In a crowded room, that snapshot strikes the sensitive part of his fight. Access to the reps that can convince Drake May and the coaching staff he deserves to move up. The former third-rounder produced little as a rookie. That keeps this from being a minor detail. I.J. Brown, Romeo Dobbs, Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, and Efton Chisholm were ahead during that walkthrough. With 6 names prioritized ahead, Williams is not facing one direct rival. He is facing the roster math, snap distribution, and the clock running toward the cut to 53. The human side matters, and I am not burying him before he can answer. In pads, Williams had a good practice and made a spectacular one-handed catch during individual work. That play does not erase concern. It reminds us the competition lives. That real talent deserves attention. The problem is that one catch has to become a run of separation, trust, clean execution, and work with higher groups. I want urgency without panic. Williams cannot treat every target like a career saver and lose the details. He cannot wait for his third-round investment to speak. The right response lives in the middle. Attack his routes, win through contact, own his assignments, and make his presence impossible to ignore. The Patriots invested in him because they saw potential. Now Williams has to turn that potential into weekly value. This fan base can answer anyone calling the race over. Put your case right below. What does Williams still have to prove to win back ground? I want arguments, not sympathy. Defending him does not mean pretending the depth chart is not real. It means demanding that he gets a chance to respond, then that he attacks that chance with hunger. The one-handed catch cracked the door open. The next practices will tell us whether he can get through it. Meanwhile, an offensive lineman is watching another door close just as his body is telling him to stop. Caden Wallace opened camp as a leading backup guard option. Days later, that position feels less secure. Mekhi Butler replaced him at second-team left guard and has looked competent. During an offensive line versus defensive line drill, Wallace appeared to get banged up and left Saturday's practice early. No clear extent of the injury has been presented, but the timing is brutal for a player who needed to keep stacking answers. Since being drafted in 2024, Wallace has played tackle and guard. That versatility should protect him on a crowded roster. A multi-position backup gives a team Sunday security, but versatility alone does not create trust. If another player starts executing better inside while a physical limitation reduces Wallace's reps, the advantage of covering several roles can lose real power as a roster decision approaches. That hits me because the offensive line is no harmless laboratory. Every answer reaches Drake May. One starter injury can force the Patriots to the bench, and the next man must enter without wrecking protection, communication, or the running game. Butler's rise is not only Wallace's temporary loss, it may be the birth of an alternative the staff did not expect to elevate this quickly. I would not turn Wallace leaving Saturday into a final judgment. First, he must get healthy enough to compete. Then he must show why multi-position experience still deserves space. The picture has become difficult, but one strong run can put him back in the conversation, especially if the staff values a player who can move between tackle and guard. Now he is chasing Butler in the calendar. Wallace's strongest answer is returning, handling contact, and rebuilding trust snap by snap. For Butler, this opportunity means proving July competence holds at preseason speed. It may feel unfair on an emotional level. In football terms, it has become an unavoidable competition unfolding in front of everybody. How the Patriots manage this reveals plenty. If Butler keeps functioning, he should get more responsibility. If Wallace returns, he must earn reps, not receive them for the team's previous investment. Watching a hurt player lose ground is painful, but quarterback protection allows no sentimental choices. I am pulling for Wallace to recover, and I still want the best possible unit in front of May. That conflict is real. Loving this team also means accepting that some decisions hurt before they make the roster stronger. These 4 stories leave hope and uneasiness sitting side by side. Arkin shows how quiet work can find a roster spot. Rodgers adds weight to a defense that refuses comfort. Williams has received the hardest warning of his young career, while Wallace is fighting both competition and time. Defending the Patriots does not mean blindly protecting names. It means defending a standard that rewards the players who help New England win. I want that demand to create depth, not merely painful cuts. Patriots Nation, tell me what you think. Is your confidence in this build above or below a 7 right now? Drop your score, subscribe to Patriots Club Fans, and stay with us to see who survives this fight.